Guys, I gotta be real with you. I'm not sure if you're ready for this one. You might need a little more training still. This one might be beyond all of us. Nightkiller is a film that came out in 1990 and was directed by Clyde Anderson, which is actually a pseudonym. His real name is Claudio Fragasso, and he also directed other films with many pseudonyms, including the name Drake Floyd, which was the name he used when he directed Troll 2.
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my God!
Yes, that Troll 2. The one that you have seen a clip for in every single Hilariocity intro, and the one that I have yet to review because it's just too easy to do a Hilariocity of that movie, and maybe one day I will. So I chose another one of his films that no one's really talking about right now, and I have a feeling that could change. Because Severin recently released Nightkiller on Blu-ray, and I bought it because it looked too good to be true. And I had it for a few months. I hadn't even opened the packaging yet, and my friend came over today and he said, "Hey man, I feel like watching a movie. You want to watch a movie?" And I was like, "Of course. What do you want to watch? You want to watch a classic? You want to watch just like a movie like Freddy vs. Jason or something?" And he was like, "Let's watch a fucked up movie." And I went, "Okay, what do I have?" "Well, I got this movie called Nightkiller that's burning a hole in my Blu-ray collection. Would you like to watch this film?" And he said, "Of course I would." And I said, "Of course, let's watch it." And we did. And now I am sitting here just hours after finishing it, instantly knowing this is my Hilariocity for the Halloween special this year. I was going to pick one. I had a few in mind. There were some titles in the running. But after this movie, I knew for a fact this was the fucking goddamn movie I was talking about this year in 2019. First, a little history about Nightkiller before we get into it. This film had a difficult production. The studio did not like the director's vision. He wanted to make a film that, according to him, entered into another dimension. He wanted to make a psychologically disturbing film with limited gore that made the viewer feel very bizarre. And except for the limited gore part, he definitely succeeded, because this fucking movie is weird as fuck. But the studio didn't like that, and they hired another director to come in and do very gory reshoots that were added to the film to make it seem more like a slasher movie. And the film was subsequently released in Italy under a title that insinuated that it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, even though the actual film, Texas Chainsaw 3, had come out earlier that same year. The film opens with what, in retrospect, is a very out-of-place scene where a bunch of aerobics dancers are performing a routine, and their trainer gets extremely irritated with them in what seems like an outtake that's included in the movie.
What's the matter with you guys tonight? This show's gonna, oh no, this show sucks. And the rate you're going, Charles, with your head down, I don't know, we might as well, it's never go on. It's, I don't know what to do. Look, I'm really nervous. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get her, and, all right, I'm a little nervous. You have to forgive me. Please, go rehearse this without me. I'm going to get Elizabeth. Can you please? Without me.
But the scene continues with a random girl that never appears in the film again afterwards, encountering this guy. He likes to punch through people. This film. And the nervous trainer runs into him next and gets her throat slit, and in the following scene, her throat no longer appears slit. This opening scene was a complete reshoot to tack on an opening that had kills in it. The scenes that follow with the opening credits are how the movie was originally supposed to begin. Now, I'd like to look at a film like this and say, well, someone got a hold of this material with a vision, and he wanted to make a unique movie, and the studio just didn't get it, and they ruined it. But the scenes that are his scenes are equally as horrible. In particular, the 1980s porn music. And here's where we learn there has been a lot of killings lately. Women are being abducted left and right, and this masked person is to blame. And we get most of this because a news anchor tells us everything we need to know. This happens throughout the entire film.
Rika Traskovich is the fourth victim of the hooded psychopath. The woman was also repeatedly raped before being killed.
Reporters are constantly swarming cops and doctors, asking them questions about this case, and the cops and doctors stand there and tell us everything. There's no mystery, no imagination, and absolutely no subtlety. Now we meet the woman who eventually becomes our main protagonist, and she gets a phone call from a very creepy guy, and in what has become a Hilariocity staple, he speaks in very deep ADR.
I tried the other line, but it was always busy.
Then you're drunker than usual. Both lines have been free all day. Anyway, Clarissa has gone to the country with Annie. Listen! I don't have anything to say to you except don't call me anymore!
Melanie. Melanie. Melanie!
The following scene is the best way that I can describe how insane this movie is. Because we get this incredible overacting from this woman. And then in the very next scene, the next scene, she just goes in front of a mirror and begins to caress her breasts. There's no reason. It just happens. And the best part about this scene, which I have to censor for YouTube, is that while rubbing her breasts, she is trying to encourage herself.
Well, here you are, Melanie Beck. This is you. You have a daughter. You have a marriage on the rocks, and nothing but gray skies ahead.
I think more of us should stand in front of mirrors caressing our nipples, telling ourselves to have a good day. And now there's yet another phone call.
I told you not to call me anymore!
You're a fine-looking woman, Mrs. Beck. Just made to be fucked senseless.
Who is this?
No, don't move. Stay just like that. Oh, yes. I want to watch you. With you, it'll be different. I won't kill you straight away. First, I'm going to fuck your brains out.
And next, she phones an extremely interested police officer who clearly is very excited to be acting in this movie and holding a phone that isn't scotch taped at all.
Listen, Mrs. Beck, lock yourself in the house and don't open the door for anyone. I'll call you back in 5 minutes exactly.
Okay.
Now you know exactly what you have to do, right?
Yes. First I have to lock myself in, and you'll call me back in 5 minutes.
Good, good. I'll call you back.
Okay. Thank you.
Now our lead character is attacked by this masked man, and he has some things to say to her, and most of them are absolute gold.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Beck. This is Sergeant Gabriel.
But you said you would call me back in 5 minutes.
I can't wait 5 minutes, Mrs. Beck. I'm too horny.
About halfway through this movie, I had to pause it and look at my friend and say, I feel like I'm a miner looking for gold right now, and every fucking where I look is a giant piece of gold. This movie is everything that I have this segment for.
I'm too horny.
I would like to do a cut of this movie, but replace his voice with like a Nick Nolte voice.
I can't wait 5 minutes, Mrs. Beck. I'm just too horny right now. It was a nice thing you did for that kid in that tank, Tommy. Hey, Bruce, come here. You're not the Hulk. I'm the Hulk.
So her friends take in this woman's daughter after she's brutally attacked by this man. We don't know anything about her daughter or her friends, except for some horrific exposition that they give to the news. So after this woman was attacked, she escaped, and we learn that she has completely forgotten this attack. It was apparently so brutal and horrifying that she has no memory of what happened. She has amnesia, which is very convenient because she's also the only person who's seen this guy with his mask off. And it's right around here that I realize this movie is obsessed with taking really long, awkward pauses after someone speaks and zooming in on their face. It happens so many times.
Maybe the fact that he was not able to kill this time will calm him.
Yeah, or make him more determined to do it the next time.
But right here, this is where the movie gets absurd. Off the wall bonkers, pure insanity, and I love every minute of the rest of this movie because it just cuts to her out of the hospital. Apparently, she's been released. We have no idea why. She's driving now despite this horrific attack and her memory loss, and this vicious creeper pulls up next to her in her car and starts to hit on her.
Hey, honey, sweetheart! Woo! Woo! Hey, sweetheart! Gonna wet your whistle?
Being the world's most persistent stalker, he follows her into a bathroom where she holds him at gunpoint and forces him to do this.
All right, take off your pants.
My pants?
Uh-huh. And your socks and your shoes. And now, or your career's over.
Okay. Okay. And now?
You sure?
What about these?
Throw them in the toilet.
What?
Do it!
My shirt too, I guess.
You got it. Now flush it.
Flush it?
Flush it! Well, so long, friend.
What about my clothes?
Just reach in and fish them out.
There?
Shouldn't be anything new for an asshole like you. You're full of shit yourself.
Now, what I love most about this scene is the incredible writing. In particular, this moment.
Hey, bud, what happened to your clothes?
I got molested in the little boy's room.
I have to... Okay, we're good. We're good. After she escapes this guy, she's now on a beach, attempting to commit suicide. Why? I don't really know, because she has amnesia. She doesn't know what happened to her. She has no memory of being assaulted, so why is she trying to kill herself? It doesn't really make sense. But that doesn't matter, because this insane stalker has found her. He stops her from killing herself and then forces her head into the ocean so that she can choke on seawater and spit up all of the pills. And she eventually wakes up in this guy's weird, creepy apartment, groaning a lot. So now we get more scenes with this masked murderer, and it's being suggested that it's also this creeper who's got the woman back in his apartment. And despite putting off the biggest murderer vibes ever, this woman goes home with this guy. And what happens next is a sexually charged story of Little Red Riding Hood and murder.
Do you know the story of Little Red Riding Hood?
Sure. Ah, I get it. I'm Little Red Riding Hood and you're the big, bad wolf. You know, I think I'm just a little tipsy.
Go on with the story.
Ooh, grandmother, what big paws you have.
All the better to hold you with.
Now coming up is a moment that for me meant a lot. When I watch a film that ends up being a hilariocity, there's always a few scenes that I have to just pause and look at whoever I'm watching the movie with in awe. Like, that just fucking happened. Did you see that shit? Did you fucking see that shit?
Had your sweater and dress cleaned. Fried chicken and French fries.
This scene is the best scene in the movie, and it continues with amazement.
Valium. Syringe. A gun. Barbiturates.
Valium. Syringe. Gun.
Barbiturates.
Don't touch me.
No, not again.
You don't seem to get it, Mr. Restroom Hustler. I'm already dead.
Doesn't look that way from here.
That's what you said.
It's a free country. Anybody who wants to kill themselves has the right to. Why you shoot yourself, try to, I'm gonna eat. Nothing does it to me like fried chicken.
It's like William Friedkin saw this movie and made Killer Joe and said, I'm gonna do that right. Now, after having stopped her from killing herself on the beach, he encourages her to do it again, this time with the gun barrel in her mouth.
Come on. It's as easy as eating a drumstick.
No. No. Please don't do.
What do you mean don't do it? Isn't it what you want?
This is what I want.
Well then. Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Just what are you playing at?
And the next scene is what I would assume was a reshoot. This killer wears his mask and stalks a woman at what seems to be an aquarium, which, of course, is where all slasher movies should be shot. In the fish tanks. This is one of the more obvious criticisms of this movie, beyond the technical shit and just how bad it is. The characters in this movie do nothing when they're in danger. Specifically, all of the women that are targeted. They just kind of stand there and let themselves be killed. It makes no goddamn sense. But this scene also contains another moment that made me pause it and look at my friend and just die with laughter.
Fuck you!
No cussing.
This guy is totally cool with everything he's doing, but if she curses, that's going over the line a little bit there.
Pig! Son of a bitch!
I told you not to use words like that!
And when it seems that they might be making too much noise, and someone comes to the door, the guy decides to bribe this man with some serious money. A whole $1. Now I need to talk about a character in this movie I haven't talked about yet, and that's the cop. This guy gets a lot of screen time. And my God, this performance is one for the record books.
You're the famous shrink. The famous expert who shot off his mouth on TV with all those highfalutin theories. I'm just a cop, man, who wants to do his job. And I do my job with these.
Listen, you can't blame me for what happened.
I can blame you, and I do blame you. Now, if you don't do something about this, I'm gonna fix it with the press to make you look like the quack of the century.
I don't know that I've seen a character that's supposed to be so confident and so self-assured as this guy, who appears in every scene the exact opposite of that. Now, I may have misjudged that $1 bill because clearly it has bought quite a bit of loyalty from this person.
Where are they?
They only sent one cop to take care of that maniac.
Hey, I can handle him. Just give me that duplicate key.
It's room 70. Here. Wasn't there a reward?
You want a reward? I'll give you 10 seconds to get the fuck out of here. I'll rearrange that rat face of yours. You understand?
Sure, right. Anything you say. Get out of here.
So like I said, this woman's friend has taken in her daughter because she no longer remembers she has a daughter. And the woman who's now looking after this girl has become obsessed with her and believes her to be her mother, or that she should be her mother. And this is her reason.
She's not our daughter. She's Melanie Beck's daughter, remember?
You know what I think? You want to know what I think?
Oh, don't start this again.
I think the maniac should slit her throat from ear to ear. She's not worthy of our daughter, Clarissa. She's a tramp. She's been laid by everything in a 50-mile radius.
Now finally the cops are able to get this guy on the phone, and our super cop decides he's gonna lay down the law.
Look, you're the ones who started all this. This time the ball's in my court.
Hey, listen here, motherfucker. If you don't let her go right now, I'm gonna make you wish you were never born, man. Hey, listen here, motherfucker. If you don't let her go right now, I'm gonna make you wish you were never born, man.
Now at this point in the movie, this insane guy has this woman out in the streets, and she sees that she's missing. Her picture is on the paper. And finally, she realizes that she has had exactly 1 million opportunities to escape at this point and has taken none of them. There are so many chances, but she finally takes one and decides to run. This starts an extremely boring chase that ends beautifully. At this point in the movie, I turned to my friend. This is exactly what I said. I was like, she could pull a rattlesnake out of her ass right now, and it wouldn't surprise me. I have no idea what to expect. In that way, this movie is pretty amazing. So in the most obvious twist of all time, the masked killer reveals himself, and it's actually her friend, the guy who's been watching over her daughter. And is it just me, or does this guy resemble Ricardo Montalban? This performance is the worst in the movie, by far. And this movie is filled with horrific acting, but this entire scene is laughably awful.
That was stupid of me. What? For you to think that you could get back at me. To think that you could kill me. That was crazy. No sooner did I get the knife back than there were people all over the place.
Axel. Axel.
Right. You and Axel. You two tried to set me up. But you didn't succeed. Goodbye, Melanie Beck. Beck. Beck.
But finally, this woman who has essentially been a body to gawk at and someone to lay around while she's abused has had enough.
You die.
Yes, that's good. That's good. I like it. I liked it. But the movie is not yet over. We have yet again one more twist to reveal.
Yes.
So here's what I want to talk about. Here's what this movie's been doing. This doctor has colluded with the cop, and they've decided that her real-life husband will pretend to be this masked killer. And he will put this woman through the worst ordeal of her life to bring her memory back. While the real killer is out there killing. So when she had him at gunpoint in the bathroom, he was probably really happy that she didn't kill him. It's weird that he never once decided to say, honey, it's your husband. Don't shoot me, please. Or when he went on a monologue about fried fucking chicken.
Fried chicken and french fries.
What does this have to do with helping your wife regain her memory? Wow! What a fucking horrible idea. It just comes off like a woman who was brutally assaulted. For some reason, the doctors and cops think, let's just put her through that ordeal again to make her have her memory? That's really fucked up. But like all great hilariocities, after two horrific twists, we're not quite done yet. We have one more thing that's gonna happen. This loving family has returned, her memory's back, but hey, their friend, who actually ended up being the real killer, left a Christmas present for their daughter, and she's gonna open it.
Do you recognize me, Mrs. Beck? I'm Beck. Just for you. Just for you.
I don't know. I have to. I don't know. So thanks to this Blu-ray, there actually are some really compelling special features, namely an interview with the director and one of the screenwriters. And in this interview, I learned a lot about this guy. And I actually feel kind of bad for him, because he seems like a real film buff. He seems to have a real knowledge about movies and what he was trying to do. But he just doesn't seem to have the follow-through. And I can't imagine how painful actually that must be, to have such a desire to tell stories in a certain way, but just not, he just can't quite get there. And it makes me feel bad for him. And when I watched the interview, I started thinking more and more about what he was trying to do. And there was parts of the movie where I can see, okay, I see you were going for something very European and very, very weird. It's just that even taking the reshoots out, the movie still does not work. It is absurdly hilarious. And in the interview with the screenwriter, she blatantly admits that they got a mask and a glove that kind of resembled a Freddy Krueger outfit purely because they wanted to cash in on the popularity. She says that, I'm paraphrasing, and it's very obvious when you watch the movie. And I love watching special features where they're interviewing people who made a movie that was really bad, and it's way after the fact, and so they're just talking about it completely freely. His interview is crazy. If you have the Blu-ray, check it out. I'm surprised there aren't more reviews for Night Killer, because it's great. It's really funny, it's a great drinking movie, and it's perfect for this segment. And that is my Hilariocity for the Halloween special this year. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.
Barbiturates! 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 A pass.